Hey, Richland Rams, we're going to go through your homework from Monday, April 26th. Okay, here we go. Number 1 says, which number is closest to 1? All right, here we go. Now we're going to make sure that all the answer choices we have are in the same form. And what I mean by same form is that, see how we have A in a decimal? C has a decimal. We are going to convert B and D into decimal form as well. Right here, B is at 90%. So if we remember, 90% behind the 0 and 90% is our decimal. So to convert it to a decimal, we just move it 2 places to the left. Remember that song? All right, here we go. 1, 2. So that is equivalent to, 90 hundredths, but I'm going to drop the 0. I'm just going to say 9 tenths. Now we have D, which is 9 hundredths. That's how we'd say that fraction. So remember, the hundredths would be our place value in the denominator, and then in our numerator, that tells us where the number is going to go in that place value. So when I convert it, I'm just going to write it just like it sounds, 9 hundredths. So I have a 0 in the tenths and then a 9 in the hundredths. There we go, right there. Okay, so now I'm going to line up all my decimals. So I'm going to line up A. I can also line them up least to greatest if I would like. So I put a 0 right there because D would go right there. It's D. 0, 0. I'm going to put zeros as my placeholders, and I'm going to put 9 and 25 hundredths. Now, if I'm not sure which one's closest to 1 after I line up my numbers with the decimal, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make me a number line. That is a strategy that I can use. And I'm going to put 0 to 1. And I'm going to go ahead and mark a half in there, which is 0 and 5 tenths, because that is equivalent to 1/2. So something that can help me is I can use strategies to mark out answer choices. So I have 9 and 25 hundredths. Well, I do know that 9 is greater than 1, so I can go ahead and mark out answer choice C. So let's mark that out. Okay. Now I know that I have 9 tenths. So I know that if I'm going past the half and I'm going towards 1, I know that I would have 6 tenths, 7 tenths, and then 9 tenths is going to fall closer to 1. So my answer would be B, 90%. Good job, Richland Rams. All right, moving on to number 2. Okay, number 2, Angela had a check register balance of $2,765.90. On Thursday, she made 3 transactions. The amounts of the transactions appear below. After Angela records the transactions, what will be the new balance in her check register? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put her amount that she's starting out with above the amount in the table. And then what I want to do is I want to identify which transactions I'm going to be subtracting or adding into her check register. So I need to ask myself, is a car payment, would that be withdrawal? Would I subtract that? Yes. So I'm going to put a subtraction sign. Deposit, is that going to be adding to her balance or subtracting from her balance? That will be adding. Groceries, is she buying groceries? Would that go out of her balance? Would that be subtracting out or adding? I would be subtracting that. Okay. So what I want to do here is I'm going to, I could take these 2 balances right here, I could add them up and then subtract them from her balance right here. So I'm going to have $398.12 plus $52.94, which I need to remember that I always need to line up my decimals when I'm adding and subtracting. Very important that we do that and we remember place values. So I'm going to have 6, 0, that's 10, 11, course, that's 1415. Carry my 1. That gives me 451. Now I need to subtract that because remember, these were withdrawals. And then I'll add her deposit in here in a minute. So I'm going to take her balance, $2,765, and I'm going to subtract $451.06. Got a 10, that gives me 4. Subtract that 8, bring the 8 down. Gives me 84 cents. 5 more of that is 4. That's 1, 3, 2. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to add back in her deposit. So 2,314, 84 cents plus 400 cents. All right. So I'm going to have 9. 8 plus 7 is 15. Carry my 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. 1 plus 5 is 6. 3 plus 4 is 7. And then bring my 2 down. 2 plus 0 is... So I get $2,765.59. All right. Good job, Richmond Rams. Okay. Here we go. Oh, no. This was from earlier, but I decided to redo the video. Okay. Sorry about that. I apologize. All right. Ricky purchased 3 t-shirts with images of his favorite band. He paid $79.20 for the t-shirts. Which model could Ricky use to determine how much he paid for each shirt? Okay. So he did purchase 3 t-shirts. So right now I'm going to define my variable. And I'm going to say that, okay, he purchased 3 t-shirts. So let T equal t-shirts. I know that he purchased 3 of them, so I would have 3T equals $79.20. So I'm going to find which model would represent that. Now, if I were to solve, I know I would divide each side by 3. So I have a model. Let's look at A. I have a model that has the total cost that equals $79.20. Well, if I were to divide each side by 3 and I went and took $79 and divided it by 3, this is telling me I'm dividing this by 3 right here. So A would be my answer. Also, remember that imaginary 1 right here? Think of it like that in front of your variable. And if I added my like terms, I would have 3 T's. So it would show me that 3T equals $79.20. Good job. All right, number 4, here we go. The ratio of boys to girls in an after-school program is 5 to 4. If there are 81 students in the program, how many are girls? Okay, this is a ratio table, so I'm going to go set up my ratio table. It says boys to girls, so I'm going to do boys to girls. The program are 5 to 4. It also gives me other information. It says if there are 81 students in the program, how many are girls? So I know I'm going to be looking for girls. But it also gives me total students. So I'm going to need another row in my ratio table. And then I'm going to have to get a total of my ratio. So I'm going to have to add 5 plus 4, which gives me 9. And then I'm also going to have to put the total students to the right side, which would be 81. And now I can use scale factor to find my answer. So how did I get from 9 to 81? Well, I multiplied by 9. So I take 4 and I multiply by 9. And that gives me 36. So my answer is D, 36 girls. There are 36 girls in the after-school program. All right, here we go. Marcus surveyed his classmates about the about the number of images they view online each day. 33 classmates said they view 40 or more images per day. So they do 40 or more. He surveyed 33 classmates. If 55% of the classmates view 40 or more images, how many classmates did Marcus survey? Okay, so now we need to go and understand. What can we understand about this question? Well, I have a percent, and 33 said that they viewed images per day. So the percent is going to go towards the ones that said that they viewed 40 or more images per day. So that's going to be my part of everyone he surveyed. So we know that this is going to be a percent proportion. So let's go set it up. So I have my percent, which is 55 over 100. And then I'm going to be looking for how many he surveyed in all, so that would be my whole, and then we're going to have 33. I can also use reasonableness to solve for this. I could make me a strip diagram if I needed to. Make sure that equals 100%. I'm trying to find what that equal, or what 100% is equivalent to. And I do know that if I have 50% right here, I know that 55% is going to be equivalent to 33. So there has to be more than 33 students in the classroom for that he surveyed. 33 students. There has to be more than 33 classmates that he surveyed. Sorry about that. To get my whole. So I can go ahead and mark out 6, 18. And I could go ahead and mark out, see if I'm using reasonableness. Let's go ahead and work this out. Screen. Okay, so one thing we can do here is we can cross multiply and divide. But I want to make this easier to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to simplify because they both end in 5 and 0. So I am going to divide by 5. To simplify, I like to make my fractions smaller so they are easier to work with. So I'm going to have 33 over x equals 11 over 20. Now I'm going to cross multiply and divide. So right here, I'm going to have 11x equals 660. So I'm going to divide each side by 11 because I'm going to solve for my variable, and my goal is to isolate the variable. And what I do to one side, I need to do to the other. These cancel out, and x equals 60. So 6 times 11 is 66. That equals 0. I bring my 0 down. 0 times 11 is 0. That's how I get 60. So Marcus surveyed 60 classmates. All right, here we go. Number 6, what is the value of the expression shown below? So right here, we have 54 negative 54 minus negative 9. So we need to remember our integer rules. So do we ever subtract integers? No. We just add the second number's opposite. Remember, we're always adding the opposite of the second number. So let's rewrite it. We're going to have negative 54 plus a positive 91. So now I have to follow my adding integer rules. So when I have integers with two different signs, that means that I subtract and carry the sign of the bigger number, or the number with the highest absolute value, which would be 91. So 91 minus 54, that's 11, 7, 9, turns into 8, because we have to regroup. 8 minus 5 is 37, and since 91 was a higher number, it becomes a positive 37, so A is our answer. All right. here we go. I said just a little bit. Number 7, Wendy wanted to purchase 12 bottles of orange juice for $1.44 per bottle. To calculate the cost of bottles, Wendy wrote the expression 12 times $1.44. Based on the commutative property, what expression is equivalent to the expression Wendy wrote? Okay, so we need to remember our properties of operations here. So the commutative property, remember commutative property means that if I change the order or switch the order of the operation, it will not change my value. So like if I had 5 plus 1 equals 6, and then I did 1 plus 5 equals 6, I just switched the order, it's not going to change my value. So same thing, it works with multiplication. If I have 3 times 2 equals 6, I can do 2 times 3, and I'm still going to get the same value. So right here, if I switch the order, it won't change my value. So rewrite it, $1.44 times 12. Let's see which answer choice matches that. Oh, B is going to match. So our correct answer is B. All right. Number 8, which inequality represents the following phrase? 16 times a number is greater than or equal to 112. So let's cover up our answer choices and just look at this. Let's write this out. Remember when I told you when we have a variable, I like to define my variable. So it says 16 times a number. Well, I don't know what the number is, so I'm going to let n equal number. And I know 16 times. So when I'm showing that a number is being multiplied to a variable, remember we just swoosh them up next to each other. Just put them right next to each other. So I'd have 16n. Now it says is greater than or equal to. So remember our inequalities and what they look like? So if it's greater than or equal to, remember I have the line underneath the inequality. And then I have my greater than inequality symbol. So 16n is greater than or equal to 112. So your answer is going to be C. All right, Richland Rams, y'all have a great day. Thank you.